We have had plenty of renditions at this point of The Grinch, Dr. Seuss's very popular children's story, but as far as I'm aware, we haven't had horror yet. So this is a bit of a shift, but, I mean, it's a story that I'm sure is going to take a lot of liberty in its atmosphere, and it seems that when it comes to the children's tales, horror parodies are in the mix. I have heard of the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, isn't that what it's called? I've heard of that movie. I haven't looked at it yet. I will in time, I'm sure. I'm in a catch-up phase of a lot of content, so you'll forgive me if there's a bit of a delay, I'm sure. But I am very well aware of it. A lot of children's favorite stories are getting remixes, shall we speak, or parodies, if this is referred to, maybe along the horror vibe. I think it's going to be fascinating to see maybe a new, refined lens on the Grinch story, one that's perhaps less accessible to the majority of audiences that perhaps would watch the cartoon or the original Jim Carrey movie or the new one to Benedict Cumberbatch, the animated movie. Let's see how the mean one translates itself as a Christmas picture. I mean, I don't know, but like I said, pretty straightforward in regards to being a funny, unusual take on a very popular story. This is the synopsis if you're not aware. In a sleepy mountain town, Cindy has her parents murdered and her Christmas stolen by a bloodthirsty green figure in a red Santa suit. Well, we all know who that is. And the poster is quite creative, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and take a look. I mean, it's familiar. Again, it's got that Grinch vibe. Let's see how the film manifests itself, not only as a parody, but just as an enjoyable piece of work. It's going to be like around a 93-minute movie, from my understanding, so it's relatively short, but it will be coming into theaters as of December 15th, like 3 days as I'm filming this, right around the corner. Let's see how the film materializes its horror parody version, or vision. It's a funny pitch. I mean, what'll be next after Winnie the Pooh and the Grinch? They're going to do another Dr. Seuss story that's going to be all... I mean, Winnie the Pooh, I don't think... No, that wasn't. But maybe they'll find another children's story, like Goodnight Moon or something that'll turn into, like, the moon is a carnivore. I don't know. Of humans. Or Earth. Or other planets. I'm not sure. See, the pitches can write themselves. I'm sure we can all think of guesses. That's a good question for the comments. What children's story would you like to see retold in the horror vein? Right now, it's the Grinch. We'll see what happens in the future, but let's take a look at the mean one. On the nose name, too. Oh, hang on. There we go.
Remember that story about Cindy you-know-who?
Yep.
When her Christmas was stolen, she knew what to do.
I got the rhymes.
Claus? Why?
But what if I said, that's not how it went down?
Of course.
You gonna be okay? Because we can turn around right now.
Newville?
Poor girl. Her
That's
mother
funny.
was killed. Her mind snapped.
Did you ever find the Christmas killer?
Never got a reliable description of the man.
Dad? Dad! He is out there! What if the Christmas killer is back?
This town cannot go through another Christmas killer thing. Not again.
Us folks down in Newville, we liked Christmas a lot. But that thing that lives just north of Newville does not.
What is it?
The mean one. He's slippery, he's elusive. He's a mean one, that mister.
I'm not gonna be a victim anymore.
Are they not calling him the Grinch to avoid, like, rights issues? That is funny.
You're a dead one, mister.
Okay, it's obviously inspired by the Grinch. Like, that's, not missing anybody. Is this supposed to be like, though, he's, like, we already dealt with the Grinch, and this is... Because they're putting this instead of Whoville, now they're doing Newville. So, or maybe this is like, oh, this tale you've never heard. This is the actual incidents of what happened. And it was never Whoville. That was just the nursery rhyme fairy tale version. Or they're saying that Whoville preceded Newville, and everybody forged Newville only to find a Grinch adjacent, but we can't name him that because we want to avoid rights issues or licensing complaints. We had to translate it a bit differently and take some creative liberty. I mean, it's funny. It's like, it's a TV film-esque, lower budget Christmas horror silly flick. And, you know, among the Christmas time season, there are some films that are coming out that perhaps are more subversive of the tone you would expect in Christmas film fare. I can think, for example, what's been in recent theater entries, Violent Night, which I've heard is apparently stellar. I want to go see it. Again, the trailer looked great. I'm trying to make an effort to. Horror tones are not as consistent, at least what's perceived generally with the Christmas time holiday, and I do like to see that fresher atmosphere. It gives the holiday a new dimension of which to enjoy it. Bit of a fresh lens. The Mean One definitely could be that. I see some capabilities. I think it'd be kind of funny, you know, watching the movie being like, oh, they can't name the Grinch, but we all know who it is. Like, it's patently obvious. But, you know, hey, the Christmas time violence and the Christmas decor, the candy cane style gun, that's quite funny. I mean, this film again can be quite enjoyable. We'll see how the film fares. We'll see how the acting is. I mean, again, like I said, it looks like a TV film to me, or a lower budget picture. So that could go any number of ways. But it's funny in style. I mean, they've got enough to convince you that it's a competent release. So it's not like, oh, we're reaching our limitations of our financial budget. It actually feels like there's some effort made, and I appreciate that. Looks enjoyable. Could be quite fun. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it down below. If you feel so inclined to disclose your perspective, will you be making an effort to go to theaters to watch a new rendition of The Grinch story? Or will you stay at home and watch the original cartoons or film? Again, that might appeal to, you know, different people in terms of different tastes on what decision to make regarding this movie. But for me, you know, it's a new way as an adult to enjoy the stories that you grew up with in a very different atmosphere. But it could be quite fun. I mean, The Mean One looks enjoyable to me. We'll see what happens when it debuts in theaters. I believe it already has, actually. I think I got the date wrong. But we'll see what happens with the audience response, maybe the critical reception. We'll see what's, you know, taken in regards to opinion on this movie. But I think, generally, from what I can say, based on the trailer, it looked kind of entertaining, right? It is a fitting reinvention. And it begs the question for me, what's next? Winnie the Pooh, The Grinch, and there's a giant question mark that I'm sure we can all find various guesses for. But, I mean, it'll be funny. I'm sure we're going to enjoy this experience as the parody horror roster of children's tales seems to grow now. But The Grinch, fitting one to do, and it's right in time for the Christmas season, so it could be very enjoyable. Looks fun to me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.